Now, going over to the Cultural Report podcast, the Daily Wire co-founder Jeremy Boring upset that Brett Cooper isn't defending her replacement on the comments section, Reagan, who is also affectionately known as Timu Brett Cooper. Now, this comes with thanks to X, and this was apparently actually a little video from the the premium Banana Falcon membership package from the Daily Wire. You get another subscription you can get, and this is behind their paywall, but it's going viral as someone reposted it on X. This comes with thanks to America First, and he says, quote, extremely upset and distressing that Brett Cooper can't be bothered to defend Reagan, especially since Brett Cooper recommended her as replacement of the show. I only hope Brett can eventually releases a statement of some kind to combat the vicious rumors, which, yeah, she's also very common in media, has probably more NDAs than a CIA contractor. Brett Cooper really can't say much, and that's why she's been so quiet. I mean, the biggest things we know for sure is that it probably is a more of a untasteful departure, is that you see Brett Cooper unfollowing, the top people from the Daily Wire, and you saw her like a couple comments and people noticing, oh, wait a minute, she's now not following her, her best friend, or formerly best friend Reagan Conrad, formerly her bridesmaid. She deleted the photos that they were together, and she unfollowed her on the Instagram, which you usually don't do that if someone's still your friend. You usually don't unfollow them, as far as I know. Now, without too much further ado, again, this is Jeremy Boring, the co-founder of the company. So fancy. He's got 2 laptops. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
The entire time that there's been the comment section, not from the very earliest days, but almost the entire time too.
It's also lost almost, 500,000 subscribers, down to 4.02 million subscribers for the comment section, and the views are down at 72% compared to the previous 30 days, which is not great to say the least, losing about, $45,000 subscribers per week. Not to brag, but I got 13 subscribers last week.
2 years, has been the producer of the show, has helped to write the show every single day, 2 episodes a day, and has been Brett's best friend. And so, some of the accusations against Reagan have been really ugly, like that she's impersonating Brett. Well, that's unfair. If Reagan seems a bit like Brett, it's because she's Brett's best friend and one of the writers and the producer of the show. She's worked as much on the show every day on what the show would look like and feel like and sound like as.
Now, believe it or not, contrary to the comment section on some of my channels, or some of my videos more accurately, I do have more than one friend, believe it or not. And as far as I know, you don't mirror your friend's body language, voice tone, and pretty much all of their mannerisms. I mean, you might have some common catchphrases or like a group high five or something to that effect. But yeah, it's not like this instance. This instance, we see a juxtaposition of videos where you see Brett Cooper, you see how she performed, and then Reagan, replacement, he has the exact same tone, enunciations, and body language and hand gestures. It's pretty much a carbon copy. And yeah, for unless you're trying to mimic your friend in a comedic way, usually you don't have all the same mannerisms and stuff.
Brett has for these last 2 years. They've done that together. Obviously, they have a lot in common in terms of their delivery because they have helped craft the show together. Some of the rumors I saw that we sent Reagan to acting lessons to make her more like Brett, that's absolutely absurd and deeply offensive. Reagan's enormously talented. She's been an enormous part of building the comment section for the last 2 years. And I've never sent her to an acting lesson. She's never asked me to send her to an acting lesson. I've never asked her to do anything to be more like Brett. If anything, we've told her make the show as much your own as you can while maintaining the format. But she is like Brett because
why didn't they let her? I don't know why this bugs me, but why didn't they let her switch up the studio or the design aesthetics? Like, usually it's very personal to have your background on your daily show or your YouTube channel. And I know it's the comment section, it's the Daily Wire intellectual property. They spent probably tens of millions of dollars building it up with advertisement, marketing, as well as developing the talent there. But it literally was just a copy paste of take the other talent out and put the new talent in. And again, everything on the table was the same, everything in the background was the same. They didn't try to switch out some of the fun things in the background to make it more personal to Reagan, make it more her show. I mean, it literally just felt like almost like Indiana Jones, where he's flipping out the little talisman when he's in the temple, and yet, yeah, they expect us to think, oh yeah, it's totally different. It's like, it sure feels like she was copying everything.
Because they are friends and collaborators, have been collaborators on the show. It's actually ironic because I did send Brett to various kinds of lessons as a performer, not acting lessons. Brett's a terrific actress, and always, the entire time I've known her, she has been, as will be evident when you see the Pendragon cycle.
Yeah, is that back at
But
a
I did send her
compliment?
to dancing lessons and singing lessons in preparation for her role as Snow White. I sent her to dialogue coaching sessions to help her with her role in the Pendragon cycle, and that's good. That's like saying that you shouldn't send a performer to lessons is like saying that my political host shouldn't read books. They should just know everything. It should all be natural. What nonsense. You should always be making yourself better. And Brett did take steps to make herself better and better and better, and I'm sure will continue to. And perhaps Reagan will as well. But what Reagan hasn't done is taking acting classes to be more like Brett Cooper. That is just completely absurd. And it's hurt my feelings a little bit that Brett hasn't done more to defend her friend, Reagan. You know, Brett chose to leave the show. It was her
Yeah.
idea.
She chose to leave the show. It's all her. And yet she's just quiet the whole time. She's the one that has the NDA and can't talk. And again, it's a standard media practice, but it's kind of weird that he's poking her like, why aren't you saying nice things about your replacement? I mean, an overwhelming majority of the time, even if let's say Brett found a new job at somewhere at a different company, which I think the biggest red flag that we know she was fired, she doesn't have a new job yet. Kind of funny that she's gaining more subscribers at an exponentially greater rate than her replacement on her channel when Brett has not even posted a video yet. And yet, why would you, I can't think of many instances where you would actually give accolades or defend someone who took your job from you or even just replaced your job. And again, I don't think anyone thinks, oh yeah, this is an amicable departure of the talents. I mean, I don't think anyone feels that way.
Her stated desire to leave the show and to leave the company. She had personally recommended Reagan to me. Before she told me she wanted to leave the show, she had personally recommended Reagan to me and told me that if she ever did leave the show, Reagan would be a great person to consider to host it, and that at any rate, I should give something to Reagan because she should be on-screen talent. And the audience, whenever Reagan would guest host the comment section, the audience loved her. The comments were almost universally positive. In fact, many of the things that they're now criticizing her for in the comments were the things that they liked most about her when they didn't know that Brett was leaving the show. And for that reason, I know that most of these attacks on Reagan are completely unfair. They're completely disingenuous. People aren't really raising these criticisms. They're either helping to craft or buying into a narrative which has been crafted by people who want the Daily Wire to fail and want Reagan to fail in the role. And both will be disappointed because Reagan will not fail in this role. And the Daily Wire will not fail. We continue to grow and we continue to succeed. And business is hard. And we'll go through it. You're always going to.
Interesting body language he has there. Again, the views are down at 72% compared to the previous 30 days. And they've lost, 500,000 subscribers from the comment section. She's down to 4.02, which again is still a huge amount. But now her videos are getting between like 20 and 30,000 per video, which, given the overhead of the Daily Wire with 250 plus employees, I can't imagine they're making any money on the channel right now. I can't think they're surely bleeding at this point. Again, they have a lot of good marketing talent over the Daily Wire. They have a lot of capital to reinvest in the company. And with enough ad dollars, you can definitely find a new audience for the comment section. But yeah, right now, that's, of all the channel analytics, it's the channel that's hurting the most. I don't see it making a profit. Again, they're still losing about 50,000 to 60,000 per week from the comment section. Some of the other channels are more stagnant. They're growing, but at a very, very small rate compared to previous fiscal quarters.
We go through a little bit of a downturn in audience after a very popular host leaves a show. But Brett will go on and build her next thing, and she'll do just fine and continue to be very successful. And Reagan will continue to find her footing with her new role as host of the comment section and continue to thrive. And absolutely, we will do other kinds of content with Reagan. Reagan and Brett are different. We did other kinds of content with Brett in the form of acting. She played a very important role in the Pendragon cycle because Brett is a very gifted actress. And the entire.
So that's what they're saying on the Inside channel over there. And we're moderately viral, got about 70,000 views and 414,000 likes. Now, one of the first questions is the right reason, saying, where did they post this video? Okay, 9 likes. American First says the live Q&A part of the app, you have to be an All Access member, getting 21 likes, which, again, that's why the Daily Wire is so extraordinarily successful. They over 200, 200 million subscribers? It's astronomically impressive. Jolly Rogers says, quote, it's likely that Brett has an NDA, so it would be very much that she cannot speak, or at least is being careful, but she accidentally says or say something she shouldn't. Glad Jeremy is defending Reagan. Hope everything works out for all the parties. Getting 49 likes, which, I mean, Bud Light still has sales to this day. Lost about $1 billion in sales year over year compared to the prior Dylan Mulvaney controversy, 1.2 billion, but who's counting? It's stabilized in terms of they're not losing any more sales at Bud Light, but they're also not really increasing the market share again. For over 20 years, they were the number one beer in North America, or United States at least, by sales. Yeah, Modelo took that spot, which in the U.S. is owned by Constellation Brands. Yes, in other countries, it's owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev, but in the U.S., they lost that crown. You also have Sir Rank Productions saying, quote, she probably can't comment because she's most likely under an NDA, as is usually the case with sudden departures from media companies, getting 34 likes. Yep. Oh, Hi Mark says, Daily Wire made a massive mistake here. They need to shutter the program and reflect on the problem with women, or their problem with women. The best possible way forward is to launch a better version of The View with a rotating panel of conservative women commenting on the news of the day and early night, getting 39 likes, which that wouldn't be a terrible idea, actually. I mean, The View is hilarious. I think 18 people watch it, like, seriously, and everyone else just watches it for the junk that it is. But, again, they have such a high amount of capital reserves and a lot of good people in marketing. I'd say give it 2 fiscal quarters. Maybe let's have a growth rate at the comment section again. Because, again, they're losing 50 to 60,000 subscribers per week. It used to be 10,000 per day. The rate is actually getting slightly better in that regard. Now it's like almost 10,000 every other day. So again, eventually the leaking on the ship will stop. Now the views, that's where it's a little concerning from a business perspective. Again, they're only getting 20 to 30,000 views per video, which again, for their business size and their overhead, not sustainable long term. Van Miller says, quote, his body language is all over the place. Can't even maintain eye contact with the camera and keeps touching his mouth and nose, getting 18 likes, which, yeah. Again, it's also a live Q&A, so he's probably doing a little bit more improv than usual. I mean, he was a little bit more awkward in terms of his body language compared to when he was addressing the Steven Crowder controversy about a year ago when they made an offer to his company, Louder Crowder, to be a part of the Daily Wire team. I mean, that being said, when it comes to awkward body language, I don't have much of a soapbox to stand on. Lord knows I look extraordinarily awkward on the camera these days. Scrolling down more and more, you also have Dallas Choir saying, quote, and yet people will still choose to run with the stupid narratives. They are more interested to them. The maturity of the grown adults never ceases to astound me. Getting 3 likes. Shelly Belly says, quote, obviously she still feels hurt, and I'm sure she signed a very detailed NDA. I almost would rather Jeremy not say anything about Brett directly, just say that Reagan deserves a fair chance. He's making it worse, getting 19 likes, which, yeah, it's kind of the growing elephant in the room is, again, Brett's departure. And again, not only do they most likely have an NDA, which, again, is very standard. I mean, shoot, I do them all the time in cybersecurity. But another very popular thing in media companies is a non-disparagement agreement. That's why you never hear Tucker Carlson. He'll never say anything negative about Fox News, because you're basically getting paid a nice amount of money to not talk, as the title would entail, not disparage your previous employer. So I'm sure Brett Cooper had a standard, boilerplate NDA, which is already from what I hear with the Daily Wire contracts, already a little bit tighter than usual for the industry. But she also probably had to sign a non-disparagement agreement, or more accurately, agreed to sign a non-disparagement agreement in exchange for a last bonus before she left. Let's see. Maybe 1 or 2 more comments here. Schleck says, quote, I don't know about you guys, but I lost a ton of respect for Brett. She has not even come out once to defend Reagan, which by doing that would boost the show and make Reagan stop losing viewers, getting 18 likes, which, again, the fact that she unfollowed her friend, deleted the pictures of her friend and former bridesmaid from social media, I mean, most likely it was not her friend any longer, and it was probably some friction between them. Again, if they had like a full episode where they did I don't know if it'd be too awkward to have 2 people hosting the same show at the same time, but if it was a truly happy departure where each party was happy and they're going in the right directions, they would have had maybe a couple episodes where they co-host it and have a one final send-off. Again, with a lot of these departures, it's just bang, they're gone. Very similar to Candace Owens. She had that episode and then she just vanished. Obviously, she was let go, or they paid her out the rest of her contract. But yeah, but Jeremy bringing this up, and again, it was a Q&A, so he's answering the questions to the best of his ability on the spot. But yeah, it seems to almost make the situation worse. But yeah, I mean, slowly but surely, the comment section seemed to be getting better in regards to the audience. The comments are usually about 50-50 negative versus positive. There's a lot of speculation. I haven't seen too many hard facts in terms of, are they buying bots to make, the comment section more positive. There's a lot of speculation in that regard. But let me know. I mean, again, they have over 200 million subscribers by now, I believe. I mean, it is an astronomically successful company. They're valued at $1 billion, which is even more incredibly successful from a media perspective. It's one of the most cutthroat industries, bar none. So they have the fiscal as well as the personnel resources to turn the company around, or specifically for the comic section. The real question is, how long are they willing to lose money on that specific channel before they need ROI? But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.